What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of Netflix new series, The Waterfront. Let's rock this. Okay, so when I heard that this show was brought to you by the creator of the Scream franchise, Kevin Williamson, I just had to check it out. Plus, one of the stars is former Supergirl, whom I had a celebrity crush on for quite some time. So, all the more reasons, right? Well, thanks to Netflix, I've already watched the entire 8 episodes, and no, there's no Ghostface serial killer roaming around here, and I would have to put The Waterfront in the mixed bag category. Now, don't get me wrong, for the most part, this is an intriguing, effective family crime drama. But there are also parts about the narrative that feel a bit wobbly to me. But it does have more positives than negatives. Strong cast ensemble featuring familiar faces that can attract viewers. There's also layers and depth to the story, plus the unexpected surprises along the way. I mean, the way in which these characters try to hold their heads above water while attempting to escape from the clutches of their overlords is definitely engaging. And man, Topher Grace playing the villain is this show's creme de la creme. Topher is so goddamn good in this role. Created and showrun by Kevin Williamson in The Waterfront, for decades the Buckley family has ruled Havenport, North Carolina, dominating everything from the local fishing industry to the town's restaurant scene. But their fishing empire has started to crumble as patriarch Harlan Buckley recovers from 2 heart attacks, and his wife Belle and son Kane venture into the deep end to keep the family businesses afloat. As their attempts spiral out of control and into treacherous waters, Harlan steps back in to take command. Facing her own demons, Buckley's daughter Bree, an addict in recovery who's lost custody of her son Diller, finds herself entangled in a complicated relationship that could threaten the family's future forever. Starring Holt McCallany, Maria Bello, Jake Weary, Melissa Benoist, and Brady Hepner. The review embargo lifts on the same exact night as this show's premiere, so there's no need to tiptoe around the details anymore because you are all gonna be covering this show around the same time as I do anyway. I think I saw one commenter who described The Waterfront as the perfect cross between Ozark and Outer Banks. Oh my god, I cannot put it into words better than that. Except there's no treasure hunting in The Waterfront, but that Ozark meets Outer Banks description is pretty spot on. I personally don't find The Waterfront episode slow. My criticism has to do more with how improbable some of these situations are, despite claiming to be quote-unquote inspired by true events, which I think is a pretty decent marketing ploy. The other thing that bugs me is that it doesn't give us enough information until later on. It just kind of forces us to assume that Melissa's character is the family's black sheep without any explanation as to why her son hates her and why she hates her brother until further down the road when the noose around the Buckley's neck is already tightening. And so the writers are just rushing it and cramming it in there. That said, The Waterfront is definitely binge-worthy. It has a knack for keeping you on the edge of your seats. The tone is dark and it gets occasionally violent, but the aesthetics are not dark, which I appreciate. You can thank the location where they filmed this, of course, that sunny, atmospheric coastal setting. But it does get gritty from time to time. Solid acting across the board. I wouldn't necessarily call it exceptional, but solid nonetheless. Holt, Jake, Maria, Melissa, they are all terrific, very intense and captivating. Melissa in particular is gonna surprise a lot of folks because what she does here is such an opposite from that strong, confident persona that she exuded all those years as Supergirl. Here, she actually effortlessly taps into her character's vulnerabilities, an emotional wreck that's still willing to prove herself. And of course, as I implied earlier, Topher Grace steals the whole damn show. His psychopathic performance as the crazy drug smuggler is both amusing and memorable. Hell, you might even end up cheering for him because he is such an entertaining bad guy, ruthless yet hysterical. So yeah, overall I give The Waterfront the rating of 3.5 out of 5. It's not perfect, but it's sufficiently twisty and intricate. You'll definitely care enough to want to know whether or not the Buckleys come out on top.